So take a look at this, and you're looking at this compliments of Nebraska public media. The cleanup continues in northern Kansas after 600,000 gallons of tar spewed into the creek. A Canadian fossil fuel company pipeline spilled nearly an Olympic-sized swimming pool worth of crude tar sand oil into a northern Kansas creek that feeds a watershed, providing drinking water for hundreds of thousands of people. Now let me just stay right there, and thank you, Common Dreams. Here we go again, bunking with the water. Again, we need clean water, clean air, clean food as human beings. The ecosystem needs it too, and in walks humankind with their arrogance, causing all manner of mayhem and foolishness. Lance, your thoughts on this?
This is something that Indigenous bands in Canada have been protesting against a lot, with some success, I should add. Like, I don't know if everyone knows this, but National Geographic shows that Indigenous people make up about 5% of the world's population, but are responsible for about 80% of the world's biodiversity survival, which is just wild to hear. It doesn't matter if it's rainforests in Brazil, if it's Keystone pipelines. There's a lot of Indigenous activists who are always fighting against this, but it's kind of the same story. It's unfortunate because transporting energy is something that's just going to happen within society, and statistically it's supposed to be better if you do it through pipelines. The problem being that a lot of these pipelines, Keystone especially, tend to burst, and when they burst, the shutting off is the hard part, and then you get these disastrous ecological disasters.
Yes, and it also seems, I want to couple with what you said, this point, that a lot of these mega corporations, they don't care. The profit margin is their bottom line, and sometimes they take shortcuts, or they're not really, they don't have within their plan a way to be in community with nature to try to ensure most often that things like this do not happen, because they do not care. Far too many of them do not care. That's very unfortunate for all of us. There's a consequence when people doing pipelines don't care. This is not just some random individual, no, they are holding within their power the ability to pollute Mother Earth and our water. And that's exactly what is happening on the Keystone pipeline. It's considered the largest onshore oil leak in nearly 10 years. Let's take a look at this headline. Kansas oil spill in Keystone pipelines, biggest ever according to federal data. How much oil? So glad you asked. Approximately 14,000 barrels or 600,000 gallons of crude tar sands oil spewed from the Keystone 1 pipeline onto surrounding land and into Mill Creek. Where will this oil end up? The Kansas River. Mill Creek flows into the Little Blue River, which in turn drains into the Big Blue River, which won't be so damn blue anymore, which then runs into the Tuttle Creek Reservoir before draining into the Kansas River. Thank you, Brett from Common Dreams, for laying this out for us. Here is an overview of the river. Look at that.
So sad.
It is. This is really sad in every single way. And then Wayne Morenstein shared this tweet highlighting the damage that has been done. Tragedy unfolding on the Keystone pipeline near the Nebraska/Kansas border. What at TC Energy will not admit is that they cannot clean this up. Let's pause right now because Wayne just put some truth out there. They can't clean it up. They will scrape the vegetation and topsoil, treat it, and haul to a landfill. Damage for decades, damage for generations. This is what these folks have just done. And the federal government need to pounce on them like white on rice and black on coal. Yeah, they need to do that. Lance, any final thoughts about this?
I'm just kind of curious because like when a company does things that directly damages either the public or the environment, are they not supposed to be directly the ones held accountable for that? Like this shouldn't be something where I don't know, they have any other ability to pass off the buck, like to be like, we can't clean this up. Oh, we're unable to do this. Oh, like it was the same thing with BP oil when there was that underwater explosion that just endlessly leaked oil into the ocean, and they were trying to shoot garbage at it. They were like, well, we don't have the technology to stop this, but I think if we just fire enough refuge at it, it'll eventually seize up. And it's like, is there no contingency plan? Have you not thought this through? Do you not think that this is something that could happen and potentially damage the world in terrible ways? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, Lawrence. This is serious business, and everybody should care. We all have to care. People have their top issues all the time, and we get it. Everybody has to care about what is happening to Mother Earth because it impacts all of us very directly. Then it impacts the ecosystem of animals and vegetation, and they're dependent on us to do the right thing.